Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we have some drama to go over. Some really serious drama when it comes to the Call of Duty franchise, and usually this kind of stuff stays under the radar, and Activision keeps it all internal, but the other day, what appears to be a rogue developer, a very disgruntled developer, has decided to publicly talk about just how bad things are over at Treyarch, and honestly, it does really make a lot of sense. The footage here is actually from the Black Ops 4 beta, and dude, I know, I should really clean out my hard drives more. I keep surprising myself with the footage I'm able to find, but Black Ops 4 is a very relevant game for the topic at hand because it involves Treyarch and how things have fundamentally shifted after this game came out. To find out that things are not going well internally over at Treyarch isn't very surprising given the current state of Black Ops 6 and the Call of Duty franchise in general. I'm not sure about you guys, but Black Ops 6 and now subsequently Black Ops 7, they have caused me to lose faith in Treyarch. This is not the same studio that we grew up with. These are not the same people that made the OG Black Ops games, and what's worse is while they continue to push out subpar AI slop, they've also been radio silent the entire time. Treyarch's own community manager hasn't even tweeted in over a year, and some of the faces of the studio, like Matt Scrons for example, they've been completely silent as well. It's like Treyarch are now this shadow puppet that has Activision pulling all the strings. There's no communication, there's no integrity, there's no creativity, no passion, and thanks to a developer named Michael Anthony, I think we might learn why that is. So Michael Anthony has worked on Call of Duty for a very long time. He's been programming since 1993 and has worked on virtually every Treyarch game, all the way from World at War to the classic games like Black Ops 1 and 2, and even to the later ones like Black Ops 3 and 4. He left after Black Ops 4, and for some reason, a few days ago, he took to LinkedIn to make a post titled "Treyarch and Activision are evil," and ladies and gentlemen, this guy does not hold back. It gets pretty freaking intense, and we even hear some really interesting stuff about Treyarch stealing from Infinity Ward, so without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what he said. So I do want to preface this by saying that Michael Anthony's post has been removed from LinkedIn, but it was up for a few days. I imagine his current employer, or perhaps Activision's lawyers, forced him to take it down, but regardless, let's go ahead and read this here. Treyarch and Activision are evil. I crunched for 3 months, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week for Activision Treyarch on DLC Ancient Evil in 2019. They refused to pay me a bonus after promising us we would get one. Mark Gordon, studio manager of Treyarch, is an evil liar. He shook my hand on the bonus but refused to pay it. Mark Gordon forces HR to demand employees to coerce 10 other employees of Treyarch to write fake 5-star reviews on Glassdoor in order to qualify for a promotion. Mark Gordon labeled contractor Richard Smith in 2007 the FYF, the fat Yorkshire fuck. If you know Richard Smith, you should tell him. So I want to stop it right there. It turns out that Mark Gordon is the studio head of Treyarch and has been since 2016. It was actually a co-studio headship, if that's even a word. It was him, Dan Bunting, and Jason Blundell as the 3 studio heads. Well, as we all know, Blundell ended up leaving, and then Dan Bunting stepped down in 2021, following all the accusations of the cube crawls and all the other forms of harassment that were going on over at Activision. From what I can tell, that left this guy, Mark Gordon, as the sole studio head of Treyarch ever since 2021, meaning he's the guy responsible for Cold War as well as Black Ops 6. Now, getting back to Michael's post, things are about to get really freaking personal. He goes on to say, Mark Gordon cheated on his wife many times. She found out and dumped him. Then, a year later, Gordon comes back from Thailand with a young girl looking 40 years younger than him who can't speak English and looks 12 years old. God damn. Mark Gordon created many hostile environments at Treyarch, yet Activision don't fire him after being informed, yet they pledged in 2019 to fire anyone who creates a hostile environment. Mark Gordon is a creep, a liar, a slave driver, and an evil individual. So obviously Michael Anthony is getting pretty personal about the individuals over there at Treyarch, but I think it really does paint the picture of what it's like working at that studio and the kind of people who are in charge over there. There's always this sort of social hierarchy in these situations, but it sounds like very little has changed about Treyarch and Call of Duty as a whole since all those allegations about harassment and abuse came out a couple of years ago. What Michael Anthony has to say next, however, is some of the most damning and interesting stuff I've heard about Call of Duty in a very long time, so let's go ahead and keep on reading here. Sue me, Mark, or Activision if I'm lying. Let's all take lie detector tests and find out the truth. Jesus, dude, this guy's like standing on business. Oh, by the way, Mark Gordon arranged to steal a copy of Modern Warfare 2 from Infinity Ward in 2009 during a $200 million court case when it was illegal for anyone to see the game. Yet, he steals a copy for Treyarch to see 6 months before release and agrees a perjury deal with another Treyarch executive to take the fall if it gets out and lies in court. Then, another Treyarch top executive takes directors of each department to his house for a week to play Modern Warfare 2 in secret and rip off all their ideas. What's the chance the president and vice president of Treyarch didn't know about this, I wonder? Maybe one of them did the deal to take the fall if Gordon got caught. Maybe that's going to spectacularly backfire on you, Vader Anthony. I have many witnesses, some friendly, some will be hostile. So, holy shit, guys. I mean, keep in mind, this is just coming from one guy, but it's somebody who worked at Treyarch at the time, claiming that during the lawsuit involving Infinity Ward and Activision, the same lawsuit that caused half of the original Infinity Ward staff to all quit, leave the franchise, and go form Respawn Entertainment and start making Titanfall and Apex Legends and all that. While all that was going on, the studio head of Treyarch allegedly stole a working copy of Modern Warfare 2 6 months before release so that he and the other top executives at Treyarch could play the game early and steal some of Infinity Ward's ideas. Like, holy shit here, guys. Now, I want you to keep in mind, this was a year and a half before Black Ops 1 came out. So if this happened, they played Modern Warfare 2, they got all of their ideas, and then they incorporated some of those ideas into Black Ops 1. And also keep in mind, this was back well before the studios worked well together, back before they were running on the same engine, back before they were like passing back and forth ideas and everything, kind of like they do now, where every studio works on every game. This was back then. Like, Infinity Ward was Infinity Ward, Treyarch was Treyarch, they kind of did their own thing. So it's possible that at the time, Treyarch did not know a lot about what was going to be within Modern Warfare 2. A few examples to come to mind would be like the Pro Perk system, for example, right? That just came out of nowhere in Modern Warfare 2, and Treyarch had them fully fleshed out and ready to go for the launch of Black Ops 1. Well, now I'm sitting here wondering, is that because of this alleged stolen copy of Modern Warfare 2? Well, what about the revamped kill streak system, right? It was pretty freaking big for Modern Warfare 2, and the system that we saw in Black Ops 1 was very similar, although Treyarch did not allow for stackable streaks the same way that Infinity Ward did. Regardless, these are some pretty serious accusations, and it definitely paints Treyarch in a different light if a lot of their initial accomplishments from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 came as a result of stealing ideas from Infinity Ward. So to continue on with Michael Anthony's post, he goes on to say, "This is Mark Gordon and Treyarch. This is Activision. Microsoft also know about it and have done nothing except fire 10,000 devs recently. Boycott Black Ops 6. Mind you guys, this post came out like 3 days ago, and he's just now saying boycott Black Ops 6. Kind of interesting. They now even outsource zombie maps to Asians instead of Americans. No wonder why the zombies maps over the last 5 years are completely crap." Now, that right there, I gotta stop him right there. That is really interesting because it's not uncommon for companies, especially like, animation, for example, right? Like, a lot of companies will outsource the animation of their TV shows to places like Korea and Thailand or whatever. But Michael Anthony here is claiming that they are outsourcing the creation of zombies maps in Call of Duty overseas, possibly to somewhere like Activision Shanghai or something. I honestly don't know. I just have the information that Michael Anthony publicly posted the other day. If they really have been outsourcing these maps, that would honestly explain the absolute disaster that was Vanguard Zombies, man. Think about that. Like, Vanguard Zombies, it was supposed to be like a sequel to COD World War II made by Sledgehammer Games with Treyarch handling the zombies. It was gonna be like the best of both worlds, and it was horrible. It was like the worst zombies experience ever. It was really freaking bad. And then you look at the open world zombies that we had in Modern Warfare 3, despite the fact that Treyarch was allegedly working on that as well. I think that Black Ops 6 Zombies has been a really great return to form, but I'm just saying, if they're outsourcing all that zombie stuff, it would honestly explain a lot. But going back to the post here, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I've not mentioned Activision executives expensing $8,000 bottles of wine on company trips. Steve Matey, you drugged up pathetic smackhead. Holy fuck, like, who is Steve? This dude's going in. How much was that dinner you had to expense on your own credit card because you went over the $20,000 dinner expense bill? Holy shit, dude, like, no wonder there are so many bundles in the game. Juliet was not very happy about that, was she? Still, your boss/mate gave you a backhander in your next bonus to cover it up, didn't he? The paper trail is there, matey. Sony Japan meeting years ago, matey, and lots of other stuff yet. Oh, one last thing. Treyarch quality assurance when crunching crunching with the rest of the studio are ordered to not queue up for food when it arrives at night. They are ordered to wait 30 minutes for the scraps that are left. Holy hell, ladies and gentlemen, what is actually happening over there at Treyarch and over there at Activision? So I do want to reiterate one more time that this is a former employee and a disgruntled employee at that, but a lot of what he said really does make a lot of sense. In my own personal opinion, I feel like most, if not all, of what he said probably happened. Like, it all lines up with everything that's been happening over the course of the past couple of years, and it really might explain why Treyarch has become such a bad studio. Time was, Treyarch and all the guys over there, they were the golden geese, man. Their games were incredible, but now they are a husk of their former selves. There is no passion, there is no drive, there is no soul in Black Ops 6, and we know for a fact that Black Ops 7 is going to be more the same, possibly even worse. And it just seems like the internal politics, the struggles, and all the arguments over there are killing not only the studio, but the entire Call of Duty franchise as a whole. From the sounds of it, literally nothing has gotten better inside of Activision since all of those allegations from a few years back. I imagine the reason why this post was taken down from LinkedIn is because Activision and Microsoft do not want that news getting out and painting their trillion with a $T company in a bad light. And mind you, this is only one person exposing Treyarch and exposing Activision. Imagine how many other stories there are out there from all the people who have rode through the revolving door that is Call of Duty development. 16,000 people just got laid off. We have all the stuff from years ago, like the cube crawls, the Bill Cosby room, the stolen breast milk, and even the woman who took her own life after photos of her were being passed around the studio. This company and Call of Duty as a whole is an absolute dumpster fire, man, and the blame is solely on the higher-ups for allowing it to get this bad in the first place and for allowing these problems to continue to fester. It's honestly just freaking gross, dude. It's straight up disgusting, and I hope that thanks to Michael Anthony's post, others work up the courage to come out with their own stories, and should that happen, I will keep you guys posted with a new video breaking down all the news and all the drama and all the details. But for right now, I'm going to wrap up this video here today. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and feedback on all these allegations down there in the comments. Thank you so much for listening and for your continued support of my channel, and until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.